Hey there, welcome back to another episode of Foot Traffic. I'm excited because today I have with me somebody on my team, Michelle Fernandez. And Michelle is like my go-to Facebook funnel, like Facebook ads, like anything that I need to know, or I get a good idea, or she gets a good idea because she's constantly researching and looking into all this stuff. It's good to have somebody on your team who's like strategy and likes to look at what's coming and what can we improve on. Because if you stay the same and do what you've been doing, you're going to have outdated social media pretty quickly. So, Michelle, I'm super excited to have you back on the podcast. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah. And now as we're recording this will be airing different, but your podcast just dropped today. So tell us, name of your podcast, where we can find it. And by the time they hear this, there'll be a couple weeks out for them to go binge.
Yes, I'm super excited. So it's the Traffic and Conversion Show with Michelle Fernandez. And it's so exciting because it's everything strategy and marketing, organic and paid traffic. I already got a lot of good guests lined up, which you'll be on soon too.
Mm-hmm.
I was waiting to have a couple in before you showed up. So I'm super excited. Yeah. So I'd love it if you checked it out.
Mm-hmm. Perfect. Okay. So yes, definitely do that. And after listening to Michelle, you're going to want to do that. So Michelle is the head of growth on my team. So she is our marketing director. So that doesn't mean she does everything. It means that she is like the department head where she is making sure things are getting done. She is definitely strategy, learning new things, but then also making sure that our team is implementing them. And the biggest thing that she's in charge of is looking at the analytics, looking at the numbers of all the things we just tried. And I think that's where people make the mistake is they do. They never look back to see like, did it work? And Michelle's job is to basically test and see if it worked and then tweak it to make it work better next time.
Right.
So I really want people to get what it is you do and why it's so important. And if you are a solopreneur, you are me and Michelle. You are doing everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's something that has to be done. So what are some things that we are focusing on as we head into 2020? I know there's like 3 big things we've been talking about.
Yes.
Maybe just let's share those 3 things and then we'll dive in deeper to each one if that's cool with you.
Yeah. And what I think you're really going to benefit today is whether you're a solopreneur or you have a team is you can put all these things into place just that however you are able to manage and you could still have great success. So we're doing 3 things in 2020 I'm super excited about. We had our meetings with the team members and I can't wait to dive in. So 1 is increasing the brand awareness. 2, we are going to integrate text messages, chat box, messenger, like all that kind of integration in there. And then we are working on really making our funnels complete. And I'm going to break down what that actually means.
I actually can't wait to talk about that.
Yeah.
Because you might be thinking, how do you not have a complete funnel? No, you can have finished funnels that are just messy or not really leading where you want to lead. And this is a big one for us. So let's talk about that. Why, if somebody's thinking like, oh, I wish we had foot traffic's awareness, like I wish I could be that big, the fact that we're still focusing on it and it's our number 1 thing, like let's talk about what brand awareness is and why it's so crucial.
Right. So one of the things with brand awareness and one of the things that I've noticed with my other clients and just I think anybody in general is that you end up running out of people to talk to, right? You run out of people that are following you. So it's all about creating a steady flow of new people to become aware of your brand, like getting to know who you are, what you're about. And that's, I would say, the biggest mistake when people are launching their products is they're like, okay, we're going to have a runway that's 4 to 8 weeks out. And that's the only time that they are marketing, right? And my philosophy is to always be running paid advertising to bring in that steady new flow of followers into your funnel, build this massive audience, really building that brand awareness of that know, like, to then eventually move into that trust factor, moving them down through the funnel, right?
Yeah.
So if you think about it, like just as a consumer, and most of people don't do 8-week runways, right, before their launch. They really do 4, sometimes only 2, depending on their budget, right? So if you think about someone that you've never met before and they come across your feed and you only got like 1 or 2 shots to see them, are you really going to sign up for that masterclass or jump into their, challenge it's kind of like, oh, but can you imagine if you kept seeing them coming through your feed and watching their videos or reading their posts or something like that, to make that connection and really relate to that
Yeah.
person, and then they can decide if they want to dive deeper with you, right?
Let me pause you for a minute there. So imagine you have this email list and you're not
Mhm.
focused on growing that email list and you just keep emailing your people, sign up, we start soon, sign up, right? And even let's say the email works great and you get 20 new clients from that email. But the next time you go to send that same email, those 20 clients already signed up. So now you've just lost your biggest pool of your hot leads, and all that's left are cold, maybe people not interested. They were never going to buy in the first place. So,
Exactly.
what we're trying to do here, as in both of my businesses, we want monthly conversion events every single month, something new for a brand spanking new client to try us out. We want to have something. And every month, we can't have the same people taking those same things, or our numbers are actually going to get worse. Our conversion is going to get worse every single time. So
Hmm.
we want to kind of warm up the cold people, right? And then we also want to make sure that we're expanding our network to these cold people. And that's one of Michelle's like biggest focuses. And something I think you've been more so being like, Stacey, we have to be doing more of this because
Hmm.
we're going to run out of people. When that's crazy because there's so many people on social media. There's no reason to be running out of people.
Exactly. And you hit the nail on the head when you said that your conversions are lower, because I really believe that's why your conversions are lower, especially if you have a higher paid offer,
Yeah.
right? Because when you're talking about putting more money down, you need to have a major trust factor going on, or they're not even pre-qualified. So one
Mm-hmm.
of the other things I really love about building this brand awareness and what we're accomplishing it's basically pre-qualifying your prospects, because as they grow through this funnel, like let's just say you have a video and it's, I don't know, 15 minutes and somebody watches 50 to 100% the way through. Well, now
Mm-hmm.
you know you have a pretty highly qualified prospect, because we all know that as we're scrolling through, we can quickly make a decision like, yeah, I like them, no, I don't, and keep going, right? So
Mm-hmm.
these are ways that I love to do this. So you're consistently getting new people into your funnel, so you're never running out of people to consume your content, and you know that you're working so hard to create
Yeah.
and eventually to purchase your offer. You're testing audiences also at a much lower cost than you would doing an ad at, like, let's say a conversion campaign, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're pre-qualifying the prospects, like I already said. And then depending on what content you're using at the top of your funnel, you're also building your list. You're growing your Facebook group. You're increasing your downloads to the prospects, I mean, to your podcast.
Yeah.
So there's so many things that you can be doing, which is why we're going to be implementing this.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think as we get older in both businesses, I think sometimes you can think a lot of people know me, right? Like I'm pretty big out there, right? We've been around for 17 years in my local community. And I think, how in the world could you not know who my business, like what my business is? When
Hmm.
I say to people who I am and what I do and where it's located, and they say, oh, I've never heard of that before, my mind is blown. And we just assume everybody knows us. And you
Hmm.
guys, like everybody is so busy. They are so incredibly busy. They don't see you. This is an example of, we used to be located in a strip mall, and it was a very popular strip mall. The big grocery store was attached. Lots of people drove in there. And I thought, this is going to be a great location. And people didn't even know in the grocery store. Like I would walk in to like the Subway, get like to order food. And the lady would be like, where are you? I'm like, two doors down. I'm literally, you walk past my door every day. What do you mean you don't know who I am? So this is happening even worse online. If you can't be found locally, oh my goodness, online is even worse. So we have to really like get rid of that ego. People don't know you.
Totally.
Not enough people know about you. And there's way more people out there that need to know who you are and what you do and what you sell.
Right. So if we're talking about, you're also talking about new people coming into this business
Yeah.
world, right? Or new kids being born that are eventually going to need to be a part of the studio or
Yeah.
whatever your local business is, right? So you constantly, now let's rewind it just really quick back
Yeah.
to the budget, because I feel that one of the reasons why most entrepreneurs, when they're doing this launch, they're not always in a runway, right? Because of budget.
Yeah.
And
Now, let's just say what a runway is, because you and I know, but maybe
okay.
somebody listening doesn't.
Okay. Oh, you want me to?
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, so a runway is just that. Think about like you're taking off in a plane, how the plane like kind of starts moving and then it starts getting faster and faster and then eventually it takes off. So they kind of nicknamed it like a
Yeah.
runway because when you go to launch, like literally the plane is launching into the
Yeah.
air, right?
Yeah.
So you want to think of this runway as like just always super long where you're always just driving up. So when you're ready to pitch that offer or to do whatever you're going to do, you're ready to launch and you got a lot of people in your plane. Like you got
Yeah.
like the super jumbo plane with a party going on, right? Everybody's like knows you, loving you, and is just feeling your vibe, right?
Yeah.
So when we're talking the budget, we're not even talking a lot of money that you're spending. So no matter what your budget is, we're doing for a video views or post engagement campaigns, which if I had to rate them, post engagement is a little bit better in pre-qualifying because Facebook's actually looking for people to engage with the post. So
Okay.
that means people are raising their hand a little bit more. They're taking a little extra time to comment, like, share, whatever, versus just watching through a video. However, you can still do both. And we are getting such great low costs on those conversions. It's like a penny per view or a penny or up to maybe 3 cents for a post engagement. It's like crazy pants. So when you're talking about $1 a day, I mean, I think you could do $1 a day.
I was just gonna say, don't tell me you don't
Yeah.
have money to run a Facebook ad for video views.
Yeah.
I don't believe you. And here's the thing, if you truly don't have the money to run these video views, you probably shouldn't be in business, because
Right.
this is so low cost and there's going to be so many more things you need to be investing in that you've got to be careful.
Absolutely. You can even do, let's just take that same example.
Mm-hmm.
You can test 5 audiences for $1 per audience. So that's $5 a day. As maybe you don't do that the whole year, right?
Yeah.
But maybe when you're a little bit further out, but closer to your launch, you can start testing these audiences and building up this warmer audiences for just $5 a day. So
Yeah.
it's totally manageable and something that everyone can do and totally worth it, because then you can retarget them
Mm-hmm.
and then jump on that masterclass or get in that challenge.
Yeah. One thing that we were going to do with the studio is we had this video that we created, hired a videographer, had him come in, create a really nice like highlight video for us, a couple minutes. And we were showing that as like top of the funnel. So people
Mhm.
could see what it was like to be there, and then retarget them with a free trial class.
Yes.
Because now they're like, oh, that's that place. Like, oh yeah, I already saw them. Right.
Mhm.
So it gives credibility. So little things like that. And I guarantee this is already overwhelming for some people listening, and that's okay. I mean, I didn't know what this stuff was called either. Michelle didn't know what this stuff was called either. Like, we learned it, and I'm going to speak for myself, but I'm not some crazy, like, educated person who's just been super smart in school this whole time. Like,
Right.
I just know that I need to learn how to at least know enough to get in the game here. Right. So I really think you have to be thinking about not if you should be doing Facebook and Instagram ads this year, but when you're finally going to put it on your calendar to start diving in and learning or getting really serious about it. Because organic free traffic on Instagram and Facebook is like, you're wasting your time. I really believe
Exactly.
that sometimes.
Mhm.
So
It is.
I don't know. Yeah.
It's just, again, you run out of people to talk to. You need
do.
to expand that reach. Okay,
Yeah.
so let's move into number 2.
Okay. Sorry.
Okay. Text, chat box, messenger. We started to okay, let's just say what's real. We decided that it was important for us to meet our customers where they are most active,
Mhm.
which, hello, we all know that's mobile, right?
Yeah.
So let me just state this fact that I found. It's predicted that 80% of smartphone users will be using mobile messaging apps as their primary source of communication in 2020. So that is crazy pants.
Wow.
So hello, we were like, we didn't even know that, and we were like, we know we have to do this. We're taking the credit for it without
Yeah.
even knowing.
That's crazy though. Crazy they say 80%.
That's a lot of people.
Mhm.
So we decided to put in, and we did this with our last 2 challenges where we did include Messenger bot, like for real, meaning
Mhm.
that we put the social selling system in place, and now we're really honing in on it and getting the systems in place. And what I really love about the social selling, and we can just, you want to describe what that is? social selling?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's pretty, I mean, you can hear the two words and kind of figure it out. But, and this is funny because back in the day when people were starting to private message us and DM us, I remember thinking like, no, you are not messaging me in my private DMs about business. Like, this is so inappropriate. Call the business number, right? Like, that's what we used to think. And now there's no option. You need to be
Exactly.
in there, or somebody needs to be in there, because people DM me every day trying to buy from me. And if
Mhm.
I was the old Stacy saying, nope, sorry, I would be losing money. So social selling is really using these social platforms, and not just, I mean, a lot of these social platforms aren't social anymore, but they're
Right.
there to buy, they're there to shop. That was one of the big trends I was looking at for social media in 2020, is the amount of people that go on social media now and they're ready to buy because of all these ads. And how many of you have swiped up on an Instagram story and bought something, or in a Facebook
Exactly.
ad?
Exactly. So, what I really love about this is that it's a better way to engage with your followers and your prospects, because it's like a more enjoyable experience, right? It's more
Mm-hmm.
personal. And when you were talking about that, yes, we have always been taught, and like even kind of still now,
Yeah.
everything's on autopilot.
Yeah.
Right. And so if it's like, think about you and your competitor, if you're actually having a person, and it may not always have to be you, because I know the first thing might come to your mind, like, OMG, like how much more
Yeah.
time do I, it could be someone on your team, just quickly engaging, like you can answer questions, provide recommendations, and really your main focus is to build the relationship, to move the sales process further, faster, right?
Yeah.
Now, like I said, in the last quarter, we did started to incorporate all this. And in 2020, we're looking to go from good results to great results, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we feel it will really be crucial to the success of our overall marketing strategy. So notice how we're only giving you 3 things that we're looking to improve, but it's really putting all these pieces together in place, which
Yeah.
really number 3 you'll kind of see how it all goes into there. So one of the things of the role of your ad is to just get you a lead, period. Right? A lot of people think, oh, I'm going to pay all this money on ads and I expect to get all these sales. Well, it doesn't it doesn't work that way. Yeah, you're looking for a return on your investment
Mm-hmm.
for the ad spend. However, you have to have this sales process, some sort of sales process in place. And I believe that this part is going to be vital to a higher
Yeah.
conversion, right? So it would be in addition to our email series, or our calendar links or whatever that we're also using. Because I mean, if you think about it, between the money you're spending, all the time you're doing organically, and creating this content and posting and blah blah blah, if you're not connecting with these people, or someone's not responding to the post, they're going to just move on to somebody else
Right.
rather than to stay
Completely.
with you.
No one's waiting at
Mm-mm.
all. Like, there's no more waiting anymore.
No.
So I am not opposed to mass emailing, mass text messaging, mass whatever. But my point is, you better be manning those DMs for the responses, because if your chat bot isn't set up to really help them, you better be there with a real person, engaging like you are in your email and your phone line. So
Right.
like, we have a reasonable amount of time that we want people to pick up that phone or return a phone call. Now we're going to start to have metrics in place for how fast DMs are responded to, and how fast. And if you had any hesitation when Michelle said it doesn't need to be you, I bet a lot of people did. I bet they thought, no, no, no. I mean, how could it not be me? They're expecting me.
Hmm.
No, no, no. Let's think about this. You're a business. If I emailed info at whatever business name to any business I'm talking to, am I expecting that owner to respond to that email inbox?
No.
No way.
No.
I'm expecting a customer service representative. And now, you guys, DMs, that is turning into another inbox. It
Hmm.
really is.
Hmm. And to that point, you want to make sure that if you do have someone on your team, that they're saying, "Hey, it's Michelle from Stacy's team."
Yeah,
You
yeah,
don't
yeah.
want to come in and posing as Stacy.
Yep.
So the whole idea is to start these conversations, build relationships, and take them on their journey to either book the call, figure out what kind of upcoming trainings or something that you have that gets them excited, so you're not feeling like all spammy and stuff like that. You're coming from a place of how you can help them get a win, invite them to that challenge, have them sign up for the masterclass, versus coming with that whole commission breath, right? Because
Mhm.
people can smell that through their phone.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Okay.
So
Oh, tell me.
with you said we're going to go from good to great. You will, when trying new things, have errors, have mistakes, have things not go that well.
Mhm.
And I was super honest with our challenge that we did when we were doing all these crazy bot things. I'm like, you guys, we're messing up daily. But I'm okay with that because we're trying new things. We're trying to figure this out. And you will have that same learning curve when you start to do it. I'd rather have you start learning the curve when everybody starts doing it than when it's been around for a couple years and mistakes are no longer tolerated.
Right. Right. So it's just all about putting some sort of system into place. Like, if you're running a challenge, what would that look like? How would you
Mhm.
reach out to them to make sure they saw the live? Who's engaging on the live video if you're doing a live video challenge? Who's like kind of raising their hand more? Who had questions that maybe you didn't catch live that you can go back and answer those things. And then now you're looking at like who's really interested, who's
Yeah.
now a hot lead that you
Mhm.
can do. Do you want to talk just briefly about like what we're using to track these sales with the team or?
Yes. So we have a couple things. The biggest thing with like really looking at warm, hot leads, we're using Pipedrive. But I will say we've been using just 'cause I don't want you to think you have to get all fancy and do
Right.
certain things, right? So really we are using like a Google spreadsheet. When everybody comes into our Facebook group, the Foot Traffic community, they have to answer some questions. And we take those questions and we are putting them into just a Google spreadsheet. So again, if you're like, oh, I don't want software, I don't want to get complicated, you don't have to. But
Mhm.
when you start to see, wow, we're really growing and we don't know who's hot and who's warm and who's interested and who we need to follow up with, and this is starting to become like we're dropping the ball. It's time to say what software is out there to help us, because you're not the only business struggling with that specific struggle you have. Now there's like software for everything you could possibly dream of.
Mhm.
All right,
Okay.
number
So
3.
yes, we're
Okay,
moving on. Okay.
let's move on.
So now we're talking about the complete funnel, which I'm super excited
I
about
know.
this.
I
I
wish
get
you, if you're
excited every
not
time.
watching her on video, she's very excited.
It is. It's exciting because you get so many higher conversions. And I think what happens is that, and honestly, this really started clicking for me, I would say last year, right? And
Yep.
I've been doing this for a while, more towards second, third quarter. And I really dove deeper into testing this out and really put it into action in fourth quarter. And we've had some pretty successful launches since I came on board. And now we're looking at, okay, how can we scale that? How can we up level it? And when I really started, and this is something that will take you a hot minute to really like kind of break it down and look at what you're doing. And even if that means, because we did this too, we were ready to promote a lead magnet. And after I looked at it, Stacy was like, you know what, let's hold off.
Yeah.
Let's get it all nice and neat and put it into place. So it's not like I'm procrastinating, right? Or
Mhm.
saying, oh, I'm not going to start because this. No, it's like we have it, but we need to get it to work together. So no matter what level your business is, you should have this in place.
Yeah.
Um,
Kind of like an
okay.
inventory. Like, what
Yeah.
are your assets right now? What are the free offers? Do you have complete email sequences? Do you have systems in place for manual follow-ups or touch
Mhm.
points? Like, really putting it on paper made us realize, okay, we got to slow down just a little bit so we can speed up when this is complete.
Right. So let me just first, real quick, start by saying that when you're bringing in now these new people into the funnel, you're going to lead them somewhere, right?
Yeah.
Either to your page, to your Facebook group, somewhere where you need to be present. And Stacy does an excellent job at showing up for her community. And by showing up, I mean she's consistent in her marketing efforts of going live, answering questions, sharing, doing her stories on your podcast. She really brings her A game.
Well,
So this is
thanks.
something that most people don't do. So
Yeah.
this is really, even though I say it's 3 parts of your funnel, it's really the fourth,
Yeah.
because once you get everybody there, then everybody's just going to go away. So would you mind sharing real quick
Yeah.
what's your plan to do that in 2020? How are you going to show up even more?
Yeah. Yeah. And honestly, it was a little overwhelming. I mean, I was like, am I going to go live daily? Like what? And then I start thinking, do I have to do my hair and makeup every day? Do I have to, I mean, I'm sorry, as girls, we're thinking that. I mean, I wish my husband doesn't have to brush his hair. Like he has no hair, no makeup. I'm always like, you're cheating, really.
Right.
So yes, I'm thinking of that. But you know what? I realize that this is now becoming so crucial to our business that,
Mhm.
yeah, every day, Monday through Friday, I'm going to look presentable because I am going to go on camera somewhere. Right. And I don't want people thinking like, well, do I have to, or do I have to this? I think if you're going to show up on social and somebody could be looking at that one video for the first time, right? They see only that day's Instagram story or that live or that podcast. That is their first impression. So it's up to you. If I know I'm making a first impression today, I'm going to show up because somebody is listening right now for the first time. Somebody's watching on YouTube for the first time, right?
Exactly.
And I think we think, no, I'm at home. I'm wearing yoga pants. My hair's in a ponytail. Guys, we're at work. We are working, right? So if you have to show up and look presentable, yeah, it might take an extra 10 minutes. I listen to a podcast when I'm getting ready. Not a big deal. So sorry, super tangent on that one, but it's important. All the girls were thinking that. I really am going to be showing up. And let's share a little bit of our conversation with Amelia yesterday.
Okay.
Let's do that. So in my head, I'm like, Amelia's our social media manager. So I said, I'm going to go live in our Facebook group on Monday, Tuesdays, Instagram live, Wednesday, Facebook fan page live, Thursday, Instagram live, and Friday, YouTube live. Never done that. I'm going to try it though. But anyway, that's my day. And Amelia came back yesterday and said, listen, I just read this article that Instagram live is not as effective as IGTV. So I was like, okay, I just put this plan into place and she's already telling me don't bother. So we came up with an idea to test it because yes, I mean, she read an article. That doesn't mean it's for sure correct. And we're for sure going to believe 100% and just scrap it. But we are going to test the Instagram IGTV and then we're going to test our lives. Are we getting more followers the week we go live? Are we getting more engagement on our stories that day? Like, is there any effect? Now, yesterday, we actually really couldn't see an effect, at least at the time we talked last night. So maybe today it's changed because now it's been 24 hours. But I want you to see how we're trying and then we're just observing and then we're changing based off of that feedback.
Right. So Stacy's schedule might sound like super crazy and, oh my gosh, I can't show up 5 days a week. That's fine. You pick one day a week and you just show up. And I will say, leave out the fluff, like focus in on the content that provides value that can really help them in their business or in their life, get that quick win or something that just moves forward, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so the complete funnel consists of 3 funnels, right? Like when I broke it down that way, I'm like, oh, that's pretty crazy.
Now, I will say it is crazy. It's overwhelming. I will say for those of you in Foot Traffic Formula, we will be showing like a screen share of this. So you're not totally overwhelmed. Okay.
Yes. Now, what I've discovered over these years and even with myself is that either people don't have all these 3 in place or they're not working properly or working in harmony, right? So if your conversions aren't as high, I can probably guarantee you that's why, right? So the first one is your advertising funnel. Now we already talked about top of the funnel where you're getting a steady flow of those new prospects coming in. And then you're just basically creating some sort of ads that are those brand awareness, who you are, what you stand for, what kind of problem that you solve. Your call to action could just be put a comment below, like join the conversation. Maybe it's join the Facebook group, listen to my podcast. Now, I will say that it's critical for you to have your picks on each step in order for your advertising funnel to work and be able to not only track how your conversions are working, but also to identify the gaps in your funnel. Okay, because that is crucial and people don't realize, can't figure out where the gaps are, and those will help you. Now, the second funnel is your landing page funnel. Now, when I'm talking landing page, I'm talking totally different from a website, right? The landing funnel or the landing page is the page that your customers or your prospects are taking to when they click on an ad. So you don't want them to go to your website because you have all these other tabs on there and the people get distracted and they won't take the action that you want them to take, right? Especially if you're paying.
The average they stay on your homepage is like 7 seconds. The average opt-in rate, we're hoping to get like between 40 and 50% opt-in. You're never getting that on a homepage landing, like people use. There's no way.
Exactly. And then think about it, you're paying money to send people there, to drive traffic there, and then they're not even doing what you want them to do. Now, I will admit, for a couple of years when I was first starting out, and even I was talking to somebody else the other day, I thought that this was the funnel, right? Without realizing how to actually get eyeballs on it, right? So I had my funnel set up all nice and neat, and then I was naive enough to think that not only would I get people to see it, but once they saw it one time, they would be like, yes, I want to buy it. I don't
Yeah.
know who this girl is, but I'm going to pull out my credit card, right? Well, it doesn't work that way. So you have your regular funnel with your opt-in, your thank you, your sales page, all that kind of thing. And then the third part of your third funnel is your email series. Now we use ConvertKit. There are a ton of others that you can use. Some are not as sophisticated as others. And the reason why I mention this is because you want to definitely choose a CRM that has the ability to track or create goals, right? So meaning that the goal of your email funnel, or let me get to that later. So the email funnel is like part of the nurture sequence. So basically, if your prospect is not ready to make a decision to get to the end of your funnel, like which would ultimately be your offer, you nurturing them until they're ready to book that call or to make the purchase, right? So once all these three are set up and incorporated or integrated properly, then you're going to be able to have a fully complete funnel. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So I think the way you said it with this 3 parts, it just sounds overwhelming. Like there's so many steps. But here's what I want to say to you. It's one social media post, right? Just one that takes you to that one landing page that then can send them one email, right? Now, the whole thing we've been talking about is consistency. So I have to show up. The emails have to keep coming, right? The Facebook ads have to keep retargeting. You don't get to go like once and be done in any of this part. And that is why you have to be building systems, and you most likely need to be building your team. If you're overwhelmed, it's because you can't do it all. So that's why you're overwhelmed.
Right. And so let's just say once you have your funnel set up, now, like, what if your prospect doesn't make it through the end of the funnel to become a client, right? Well, that's when the retargeting comes in, and you do the retargeting with your ads and your emails. So one of the things that I was doing in the past, and I see some of my customers have in place, and I have to advise them to change, it's like it's like, here's your download. Thank you.
Done.
Okay. Nurture them into something, even if it's join your Facebook group where then you nurture them over there, right? You have to have something like basically you can follow up with that customer along the way. And then so how would you identify your gaps, or how would you retarget? So when you're talking about retargeting, let's say somebody saw your webinar registration page and didn't sign up, right? So now you can retarget them that, hey, you forgot me over here, because people get distracted, right? Or they saw their sales page and didn't buy, right? Well, in your email series, let's just say they did not register, or they registered for the webinar and didn't show up. Well, now you identified the gap as there's something going on in that email series that didn't remind them well enough to jump on live.
Yeah.
Right? So there's all kinds of ways when you're looking at identifying the gaps in your funnel that you can look at this and then figure out how you're going to tweak all 3 funnels somehow to work together. And then you test one at a time.
And you just start with what you have.
Exactly.
I mean, if, like you said, if you don't have something to sell, then tell them to follow you on Instagram. Tell them to, whatever you have, but don't wait to sell. Don't wait to share what you offer. It's not weird for a business to let people know they sell things, right? And I can't tell you, we did say like, not everybody buys the first time, but some people do. There are some people that see you, they listen to one episode, they grab that free trial, they try you one time, and they're like, I like this place. Let's sign up, right? So you are going to have some people ready to buy immediately. And like we said in the beginning, if you aren't there picking up the phone, doing whatever, they're going to call the next place, right?
Exactly. And what's beautiful about this more sophisticated CRMs like a ConvertKit is that think about once they get in your funnel and then once they buy. How many times have you bought something and then you keep getting emails to buy the same thing you just bought? It's super annoying.
It is. So and then you unsubscribe.
Exactly. So the reason why I say you should really consider getting something like this, because you can set it where, let's say you have 6 emails that are going to go out and they buy an email 2, they won't get 3 to 6. Right. And that's beautiful, because then now you're still maintaining this relationship and now you have retention, and possibly there'll be more of a lifetime value customer.
Right. Because even if you were trying to get them to, let's say you're a hairstylist and you're trying to get them to come in for a free haircut.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as they've grabbed that free haircut, don't keep emailing them about the free haircut, or they're going to
Right.
think, oh, I get another one. Then all of a
Right.
sudden it backfires on you.
Right.
So be careful.
Yeah.
All
So
right,
excited.
I love this.
I do dive deeper into this on my show. If you want to, like, if you're interested in hearing more, because I'm so excited about it. So please go over there and check it out. It'd be super cool. What else did you want to discuss? Because that was our top 3.
Yeah, no, I feel like this is a lot. This is probably something
Yes.
they're going to want to go back and listen to. I was even thinking, man, we probably could have separated this into 3 and gone so much deeper into all of those. And if that interests
We
you,
could.
then you let us know and we'll come back
Mhm.
and do it. But you guys, make sure if you aren't following Michelle, go follow Michelle, check her out. And if you want her eyeballs on your stuff, get in the Foot Traffic Formula program because she's in there every week coaching as well. Michelle, what's your website? Where can they find you?
TheMichelleFernandez.com.
Okay, perfect. Michelle, thank you for being here. This was
No, thank
super
you.
helpful. And again, you guys, just let it sink in. Listen one more time. Take good notes. You'll hear something the second time that you didn't hear the first time. All right?
Mhm.
All right, guys, have a great rest of your day. I will see you soon.
Bye.